On February 21st, 2025, the White House issued a memo for the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, regarding the executive order that Trump has signed previously. It's American First investment policy. And this memo basically outlines significant actions targeting the CCP. And it particularly mentioned two pieces of law. And I want you to kind of helping us to understand this better. So these two pieces particularly mentioned is, one is imposing stronger sanctions under the International Emergency Economic Power Act. And the second piece of law they mentioned is they called suspend or terminate the 1984 United States and the People's Republic of China Income Tax Convention. So can you please help us unpack the significance of these two measures, particularly these two measures in terms of a decoupling?
Well, first off, this is one of the most important documents, this executive order. It's been followed up on Maria Bartiromo twice. Secretary of Treasury Bessent has been questioned about this, and he's saying, "Hey, this is driving towards cutting off or limiting access by Chinese national companies, because every company there is associated with either the PLA or the Chinese Communist parties, to limit their access to American capital markets, particularly the equity market." This is going to have a big flow of it, and what they're citing there is certain emergency measures we can use, and also with this very favorable tax treatment, to have this very favorable tax treatment for investments and very favorable tax treatment for dividends. But people should understand that there are elements of President Trump's administration, and I think Scott Bessent, that understand that there has to be some sort of relationship with China in the United States, because there's a very close bond between the Chinese people, Lao Beijing, and the American people. But that the Chinese Communist Party cannot be trusted. And quite frankly, there's a decoupling movement underway. And one of the most important, the two ways to decouple from the Chinese Communist Party is, number one, cut them off completely from access to American capital, particularly American pension funds. And number two is to limit their availability to basically take American technology through these phony joint ventures. The Trump Commerce Department, the Trump Treasury Department is at the forefront of this, and Scott Bessent has been absolutely adamant about this. Frank Gaffney, I'm one of the co-founders of the Committee on the Present Danger of China. They're really taking a hard look, and we're really getting the public worked up on companies that are going public in Hong Kong to try to avoid these restrictions now in the American market, and then try to kind of backdoor in to an American IPO. We are getting people in Congress focus on now why that can't happen. So people should stay tuned. There is a major move underway on the decoupling side. Now, President Trump just in the Oval Office said, "Look, I've got a good relationship with Xi, but that we have $1 trillion trade deficit that can't stand." He reiterated that reciprocal tariffs are going on April 2nd. If reciprocal tariffs go on April 2nd, the Chinese Communist Party, which have a disastrous economy for them right now, are going to really be under pressure. And President Trump reiterated that these are definitely going with China, where he's already put, I think, tariffs at 10% across the board, and I think up to 20%, but they could be even higher, particularly in certain industries.
Sign up for free and be part of the movement.
It isn't just an app. It isn't just a social media platform. It's a community.
Download Get It right now.